A very warm welcome to all of you. Today we are going to begin with the revisions for the half yearly examination of English. The topic for today is grammar and adjectives. After that, we will be moving on to the next topic, which is going to be active and passive tenses, and let's just begin with the sentences. If you see on your screen, we have 10 sentences of adjectives. Then similarly for tenses also, we have the same thing. Okay, let's begin from the first sentence. Here in this case, fill in the blanks with the correct degrees of adjectives. Children, you have to be very careful when you have the exam in the written format. You will be given in the multiple choice options will be given to you, and you have to choose the correct option. Be very careful to put in your uh, all brains in one reading. See to it that you're reading it very, very thoroughly and choosing the correct option then. Let's begin with the first one. Beena sings dash than her sister. The moment you get to see than, you know it very well. It's going to be a comparative answer. Good is the word we need, and that becomes better. ER. Remember, than comes with the comparative degree. So in this first sentence here, the sentence becomes Beena sings better than her sister. Next one. Iron is the dash metal. The moment you get to see the in it, you know which one it is. It is the superlative form. And the word we need is useful. So iron is the most useful metal. Moving further, we have which is the dash river in India. Again, we get to see the. Long is the word, so it becomes longest. Which is the longest river in India? Fourth one, Deepak is the dash man in our town. The word is rich. So automatically again it becomes the richest man in our town. The Himalayas are the or dash of the mountains. The word is tall. Very simple, like the previous ones. The Himalayas are the tallest of all the mountains. This cloth is dash than that. And we need the word is fine. Now here we don't have the, so it's not a superlative form. We have than, so it's going to be a comparative form. This cloth is finer than that. The next one, Farid is the dash of the three brothers. Now here, if you see, you have the mentioned and there are three of them. So, as the answer goes, eldest. The word is old, but just see the answers here. You have the word old. When we are talking about age, it becomes eldest. Anuj is dash than Pramila is older. Now here it's again the age wise, but here in this case is older than Pramila. Next one, let's see what we have. The next one, see, old can come in the form of old buildings also, right? When it's a monument, then it is when we're talking about, then it's going to be older, right? Age wise, we go with elder. This is a very dash. This is a very dash tree. Well, I think this is going to be. We're going to skip off the S here, and that's the correct option here. This is a very tall tree. Now, no superlative form, no comparative form. It's just a simple adjective form. This is a very tall tree. Kolkata is dash from Delhi and Bhagalpur than Bhagalpur is. Now the word is far. So we move up with further. When we're talking about distance, that becomes further. Very simple. You have to be very clear with your concepts of positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree, right? Let's move on to the tenses. Again, 10 sentences for you. We dash TV when it started to rain. And the words in the bracket is to watch. We were watching TV when it started to rain. Now, were is going to be the past form because it started raining in the past tense. I dashed to visit yesterday, but you dash not at home. Words in the bracket to want and to be. I wanted to visit yesterday, but you were not home. Look, it dash, so we can't dash to the beach. Look, it is raining. When you're talking about looking, that means it's in the present form, right? Look, it is raining. So, look, it is raining, so we can't go to the beach. Okay, the next one. There are a lot of clouds. It dash soon. That means it's still not raining, but yes, it might rain, right? Okay. So there are a lot of clouds. It will be raining. It is going to rain soon. You can also mention it. It will be raining. It is going to rain soon will be the better option. Okay, the next one. The sun dash in the east to rise. The word is we need to put up is to rise. The sun rises in the east. There can't be any other answer to this one. Okay, the next one. Since 2011, they dash their sun every year. Now, since that time, that is still going on, right? So they have visited. It is something that they have been doing since 2011. So, sorry, 2011. That is 2011. Since 2011, they have visited their sun every year. Now, why have? Because since is that means it's still there in process. It's still continuing, right? While the doctor dashed Mr. Jones this morning, his soon outside. Now, to examine, to wait. While the doctor was examining Mr. Jones this morning, his soon his son was waiting outside. There's an error here which I can find. His son. That's let me just skip this O here and let's put a blank here. His son was waiting outside. Okay, let's move further. I dashed for my girlfriend for 2 hours. Now these are two little girls there waiting to meet, waiting for each other. So she says that I am waiting for my girlfriend for 2 hours. That means she's still waiting. See? Oh, of course not. I have been waiting is the correct answer. See the mistake we make quite often? I am waiting for my girlfriend for 2 hours. When you have the word for, then it goes with I have been waiting. The person is still waiting. She's still waiting for her. Right? Okay, the next one. After Larry Dash the film on TV, he decided to buy the book. Now, words in the bracket to see. After Larry Now, after he's already seen the movie, right? Had seen. Very good. That is the correct word which goes up. After Larry had seen the film on TV, he decided to buy the book. The last one. Wait a minute. Dash this box for you. Now, this is in the current form. The word is to carry. Wait a minute. Now, this thing is going to happen. Will carry this box for you. Well, quite easy ones. Now comes up the passive voice. Change the following into passive voice. That means all the sentences are in active voice, and you have to change them into passive voice. They were interviewing her for the job. Very simple. The job has to come in front and they going in the end. She was being interviewed for the job. You can skip out they. You can also mention they if you really feel like. Like in that case, the sentence will become she was being interviewed for the job by them. They changes to them. Tom is writing a letter. Very simple. Tom is writing the letter. So be very careful not to write a letter. So the letter is being written by Tom. Everyone understands English. English is understood by everyone. Very simple. See, the object is made into the subject and the subject is moved at the back and made into the object. The fourth one, the employees brought up this issue during the meeting. This issue was brought up by the employees during the meeting. The professor told him not to talk in class. He was told by the professor not to talk in class. There's another way we can put this up as he was told not to talk in class by the professor. So both the ways will be correct. Let's move on to the sixth one. They say that women are smarter than men. Women are said to be smarter than men. Now, they here can be skipped. Like in the end, we need not mention by them. When it is a random thing, unknown thing, you can skip it out. So, women are said to be smarter than men. The fire has destroyed the house. So, obviously, the house comes in front now. See, the house has been destroyed by the fire. She would have told you. Now, see, you comes in the beginning. You would have been told by her. The ninth one. She would reject the offer. The offer, now see how the object comes in the beginning. The offer would be rejected by her. Okay, the last one. This surprises me. Now, if you see there is no proper object there, of course we have a me there. So me comes in the beginning, that becomes I. I am surprised by this. A very tricky one. Okay, now we come to the literature section. Under the literature section, I have given you two extracts. Let's quickly go through them. It does not even let them fall. Name the poem and the poet of the above line. Of course, here the magical earth, and it is written by Gulzar. Who is referred as it here? Let's read the sentence again. It does not even let them fall. It is the earth. Whom does it not let to fall? Well, if you remember, there were the tall palm trees, there were the tall coconut trees, right? So, they are the tall trees. It balances them on their fingers. Name the poetic device used in the above line. Now, let's look for uh, any one specific kind of a poetic device that we can find. It does not even let them fall. We do not have any alliteration, no simile, Okay, we can take it as imagery, we can imagine it, and of course, the earth being given a human quality, personification. So, both imagery and personification will be correct for this one. Let's go for the next one. Do you want me to read to you? Oh, this was the father telling the son, right? Who is referred as me in the above line? Now, me is the father. Why did me want to read to the other person? Me wanted to read to the other person because Schwartz was not feeling well, and father thought that if he would read out to him, he would feel a little better. Was me allowed to read to the other person? Give reasons. Well, of course, me was not allowed. Schwartz told his father that he did not want to he did not want him to read out anything to him because he was not feeling good from within. He wanted to be left alone for some time. And the reason for that was because he felt he was going to die. The next and the last one, which part of speech has the word read been used as in the above line? Well, children, this is the most simplest one. Read here is a verb. Okay, let's move further. We were barely out of the gate when we heard a peculiar sound. Who are referred as we in the above line? Well, now here in this one, you are going to mention all the characters that are who were there: the grandmother, grandfather, the narrator, aunt, uncle. Everybody has to be mentioned here. Where were they going and why? Well, they were moving to another house because this house was being disturbed by the Pret. That was their reason. They were shifting to another house. Okay, let's see the next one. The next question says, what kind of a peculiar sound did they hear? Well, grandfather actually heard the sound of somebody talking, and it was none other than the Pret. Okay, moving on to our last question in this. Which part of speech has the word peculiar been used as in the above line? Now, let's go back to that word there, peculiar sound. You see, it's describing sound. So, a word which describes a noun is said to be an adjective. Well, last but not the least, we come to our section of short question answers. Now, short is 20 to 30 word limit, where you are going to maintain your word limit. Do not be very short of your words and do not be very lengthy, because we are going to cut down the marks if you are writing your words. If you're crossing your word limits. So be very careful not to cross the word limits. Another important point, children, you can underline the keywords which you feel are very important for the answer. That can be underlined. Why does the poet say that the stomach of the earth never fills? Remember when the water and drops of water in even the entire river goes in, yet the earth's stomach never fills? It's because of that the poet has mentioned it in this. Okay, you can elaborate on that and mention. What did the doctor say and prescribe for Schwartz? Well, the doctor said that he was down with 102 fever and he had prescribed him 3 different kinds of medicines. If your word limit is short, you can mention the medicines. If it is already elaborated, you need not mention the different categories of the medicines, the different types. You can just mention the 3 different medicines then. Which book did father read to Schwartz and why did he stop reading? There was a book on pirate which he was reading, if you remember. And why do you think he stopped reading? Simply because he felt Schwartz was not listening to him. He was lost in his own thoughts. Who had snipped off the sweet peas lying on the ground and why? Well, it was none other than the Pret who had been doing this. It was just a way of him to distract grandfather. So he had snipped off the sweet peas lying on the ground to distract grandfather. How was the ink in the soup night before? Now, the ink belonged to the narrator, the little boy, and from his table, it had gone into the soup. That episode has to be mentioned here. Well, that's it from my end. Very, very good revision for you all. Practice, do read as much as you can. You can be very, very clear with your concepts only and only if you start reading your story very well. Okay, that's it. Thank you and all the very best to you all. Good luck, children.